CHN Sports.
Holy cow! Yes! Score! Yes!
From Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia, WGN Sports brings you Chicago Cubs baseball. Rubber game today. Phillies took the opener Friday. The Cubs returned the favor with a 7-1 win on Saturday night. Welcome to Philadelphia. Along with Jim DeShays, I'm Len Casper. This is a featured pitching matchup. John Lester, the Cubs' opening day starter, will go up against Aaron Nola, a Cy Young contender.
Yeah, definitely a change of plans matchup here today. A game you don't want to miss. A couple of all-stars, and boy, if you're a betting man, which way would you go? John Lester, fair against the Phillies, has been outstanding, 7-0 with a 1.64 earned run average. Or would you tilt towards Aaron Nola, who's got a real good shot at winning the Cy Young Award this year, and he is perfect 9-0 with a 194 here in his home ballpark.
Cubs 20-7 when Lester pitches. The Phillies 12-1 at home when Aaron Nola works. Cubs and the Phillies. Final game of the series coming up next.
Join the team that enjoys responsibly. Budweiser reminds you to drink wiser. Ford, inviting you to visit your local Ford store or buyfordnow.com. Xfinity delivers the fastest internet with the best in-home Wi-Fi experience. Call, click, or visit an Xfinity store today. Lexus, experience amazing. Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois. Choose Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, the card to carry through it all. Volkswagen. Visit your local Volkswagen dealer or VWDealer.com for the Volkswagen dealer near you. And by Southwest Airlines. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency.
Definition is brought to you by Xfinity. Xfinity delivers the fastest internet with the best in-home Wi-Fi experience. Call, click, or visit an Xfinity store today. Let's dig into the Cubs Southwest Airlines batting order. Daniel Murphy in the leadoff spot. Cubs 9-1 when he starts. Javier Baez nearing a couple of milestones. 29 homers, 99 knocked in. The RBI total leads the National League. Rizzo at first. Bryant cleaning up and playing right. Kyle Schwarber in left. Big triple in the game yesterday. Wilson Contreras will hit sixth. Ian Happ, John Lester, David Bodie will round it out.
Phillies defensively, a little different look here this afternoon. Rhys Hoskins plays left, nothing new there. The Mighty Quinn is in center. Jose Bautista, the veteran, with his third different club. Big arm out there in right field. Cabrera plays third today. Kingery back in there at short. Pedro Floramone, the second baseman. Santana at first. Jorge Alfaro. One of the better throwing arms in the game is behind the plate today. And Aaron Nola is 60 feet 6 inches away, ready to go to work. 27 starts. And he has been dazzling. 15 wins against 3 losses, a 2.10 earned run average. League bats 197 against him. On and on you go. The number is just outstanding for this young right-hander. 3-pitch mix, fastball, curveball, change. He'll use those secondary pitches a lot. Has a very good run on his 2-seam fastball. He does not blow you away at 97, but he's got a decent heater.
Here we go. Nola to Murphy. First pitch swinging and in the air to center field. Roman Quinn roaming, and he's got it.
I'm trying to ambush a first pitch fastball there. Not a bad idea. You get behind, you have to deal with the curve changeup combination. That can be a little difficult for a hitter. And Murphy got a good pitch to hit, just didn't quite square it up.
83 degrees as we get started. Mostly cloudy, but the sun peeking through that cloud cover. And here is Javier Baez. And a rule change as a result of what we saw last night. And they'll be announcing that the cheat sheet Austin Davis used last night is now allowed. As long as it doesn't delay the proceedings. If you've got a scouting report, a piece of paper in your back pocket on the mound, you are allowed to look at it. That is a strike. 1-1 on Baez.
So you cannot use a T83 calculator while you're out there.
Right.
You can refer to your notes.
Yeah, Joe West said.
Like he did. I didn't realize he had taken this cheat sheet away from him last night. I knew he told him he couldn't use it anymore.
He said, I will give it to you after the game. He told Gabe Kapler, I'm not going to kick him out of the game, but it is considered a foreign substance. And until I am told by MLB that it's allowed, I'm not going to allow it. But they clarified it this morning.
And right after that, he made Davis put his gum on the end of his nose.
One and two on Baez, and a milestone game for him, his 500th big league appearance. And he swings and misses. That is a nasty breaking ball from Aaron Nola, one of the best in the game.
Yeah, that's a big weapon for him. He goes east and west with his fastball. This helps to explain why Murphy was taking that early swing on the fastball, because you don't want to deal with that very often.
And you got to get him early. ERA of a little over 4 in the first inning, and then after that he gets locked in as he faces Anthony Rizzo. We're kind of right back where we started to begin this series in terms of both teams in relation to playoff possibilities. Cubs 4.5 ahead of St. Louis, 5 ahead of Milwaukee, and the Phillies 3 games behind Atlanta in the National League East, 3 out in the wild card, but chasing a bunch of teams.
Trying to keep the ball away from Rizzo makes sense, but when you keep it away from him, you're off the plate. And therein lies the challenge. I'm gonna try a little backdoor curveball here.
Didn't get the call. 3-0. StatCast AI is powered by AWS. Outfield deep and around the left against Rizzo, and he takes ball 4. That'll give Chris Bryant an opportunity here in the first with a man on and 2 down.
The 48th walk issued by Nola this year. 176 innings of work. No advantage for left-handed hitters. As a matter of fact, they hit for lower average against them than righties do. Lefties 187, right-handed batters 206. He's allowed just 8 home runs all year.
Bryant 2 for 4 with a double and a run in his first game back from the DL. They've been bothered by a sore left shoulder. He takes a curve for a strike. Loves hitting here. 19 for 47. That's a .404 batting average at Citizens Bank Park with 3 home runs. And a throw over Rizzo back. Cubs can clinch a non-losing season today. They have bigger fish to fry, but they are sitting on 80 wins going into action today. Swing and a miss. 0-2.
Very whippy arm action and tight spin on that curveball. Very difficult to track.
Originally, Nola was slated to pitch tomorrow, but the Phillies had an off day Thursday, so they chose to use him on normal rest, pitching in his home ballpark. They're in Miami tomorrow afternoon. Their schedule eases up a bit. Their next 15 games after this one today against the Marlins, Mets, and Nationals as they try to catch the Braves. Actually, 7 of the Phillies' final 11 games will be versus Atlanta. They're hoping that those are big games.
Well, they've dominated the Mets and the Marlins this year, so if they can bank some more wins against those clubs, it could be very compelling with the matchups late between the Phillies and the Bravos.
And the Cubs have a big series in Milwaukee starting on Labor Day.
Cole Hamels will pitch. Zach Davies for the Brewers.
And we'll have that game for you right here on WGN at 1 o'clock tomorrow.
Leave your white shoes at home.
Now, is it through Labor Day or only up until?
Well, I guess you could wear them on Labor Day.
I think you could wear them tomorrow. Nola with another 0-2 fastball this time, and it's 1-2.
Nola was the first round pick of the Phillies, 2014, number 7 overall out of LSU.
And he started his career at LSU. His brother Austin was a teammate. Swing and a miss. So that curveball featured a lot in the sequence, and he gets Bryant. And the Cubs don't score in the first. Phillies are coming up against John Lester when we come back to Philly. like this. Switch hitting Roman Quinn in center. Hoskins plays left. Jose Bautista on his third National League East team. He'll bat third, play right. Carlos Santana in the cleanup spot. Had a good series. Cabrera hit the game-ending homer Friday, but committed a big error early last night. Kingery, the rookie, plays short, hit sixth ahead of Pedro Floramone, who came off the DL last night. Alfaro, the catcher, hits eighth. Nola, the pitcher, ninth.
Cubs defensively, Happ center, Schwarber left, Bryant right, Bodie, Baez, Murphy, Rizzo, and Contreras surround John Lester. He is the Blue Cross Blue Shield starting pitcher for the Cubs this afternoon. Choose Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, the card to carry through it all. The big lefty has made 27 starts. He's won 14 of them against 5 losses, a 3.67 ERA. His last 3, 2.04 earned run average.
Yeah, much better here the last 3. 1 ball, 1 strike on Quinn.
And there you see the mix: fastball, cutter, curve, and change. And part of the recent success has been more liberal usage of the curveball and the changeup.
That's a swing, according to Doug Eddings. Big swing pitch, making it 1-2. Phillies wearing their Sunday alternates.
John's last start came against the Mets. He gave up 3 runs on 5 hits in the first 2 innings, and it looked like one of those games that was going to go south on him. He just did an outstanding job righting the ship. Didn't give up any hits after that. I think just 1 base runner. Made it through 6 innings, ended up with a no decision, but it was just a great job hanging in there.
Line shot. Schwarber can't get it. Quinn stays hot. He's on his way to second, and he's not going to stop there. And the throw is going to be in time. They got him. Really surprised he tried for a triple. He had a double in the bank, and Schwarber gets him.
I think there's a little bit of a mishandle out there by Kyle that allowed, or at least inspired, Quinn to try to get to third base here. A youthful indiscretion leading off the ball game. He could have set up shop by dropping anchor at second base, but I don't know, we didn't see it there, but it's just a little bit of a mishandle. But the throw was perfect. And Bodie is hanging in there to make sure that tag was applied. See it right there. That might have been what convinced Quinn to keep on going.
I'm not sure he even looked. I was watching Quinn the whole time. I think he had triple on his mind out of the box. And he made Kyle make a play. And he did.
Yeah. I think, if you're going, you go until they make you stop. My point being that the mishandle, without that, he might have broke it down. He can really scoot. Head down was just kind of to find the bag. And you're right. He was thinking 3 the whole way.
Well, just a good play all the way around. 0-2 on Rhys Hoskins.
Another outfield assist for Schwarber.
11 now. Hoskins hitless, plus 2 walks in the series. Has a good eye at the plate. The cutter is low. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Jose Bautista on deck.
Early in the sequence, working him up, and that's what the Cubs have done against Hoskins in this series. Big time power.
Nice
Pedro
crowd on
fan
here.
right there.
Yeah. And there are a bunch of Cub fans here this weekend. And there will be even more at Miller Park tomorrow. Foul tip, strike 3.
Again, the elevated heater gets the job done.
Here's Bautista. In the lineup again to face John Lester, although it was with the Mets on Monday, and today with the Phillies and a 2-out Blue Pit.
Yeah, he's been aggressive. Struggled with off-speed pitches. That time he was able to get to the fastball.
Now Carlos Santana, 3 for 8 with a double in the first 2 games. I like these Phillies unis. They wear on Sunday afternoons. Cream color, the blue helmets. I still wish they'd go back to the not the zipper uniforms. That's probably not a good idea, but that look, that darker red and then the baby blue on the road, which I know they still have as a throwback. Lester to the plate, and it's a strike on the outside corner, according to Mark Ripperger.
Well, it's going to be a long day for the Phillies if John gets that pitch all afternoon, because he will exploit that spot. Santana has been a little bit better from the right side of the plate. Here's that one Ripperberger call. You see Contreras jerking it back. Normally that doesn't work.
Line drive, base hit. Santana continues to hit the ball right on the button. That's their 3rd hit here in the first inning.
Thank goodness Schwarber made the play. The Phillies would be on the board. This one starting kind of like John's last start against the Mets, where they got to him early.
Well, the play of the game so far, Schwarber throwing out Quinn to start this bottom of the first. Phillies probably have the lead if that didn't happen, or if Quinn had held at second. Outside to Asdrubal Cabrera. Let's check out our Lexus Run Predictor. It is brought to you by your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer.
It's our 643 predictor. You got one of those?
Well, they don't need one.
See John trying to dry off his hand. It's another hot, steamy day here. Calendar says September. Weather feels like mid-July or August.
Cabrera left-handed, homered off Steve Cishek in the bottom of the 10th on Friday. Phillies won the game 2-1, but a throwing error in the first inning last night helped the Cubs grab the early lead, and their 7-1 win.
Well, should there be a need for early bullpen, everybody's well fortified now with the September call-ups.
2-2.
Pretty aggressive there. That fastball right down Broad Street.
Nice adjustment.
Yeah.
Not down Broadway, but Broad Street.
Cabrera with a big hack. A little bit behind it. Cabrera is 8 out of 32 in his career against John.
Here comes his 2-2, and Cabrera able to hang in.
The adjustment John made in his last start, when we were talking about the early struggles and then the turnaround, the curveball and the changeup much more in play as that game went along. And I don't know if it's part of his strategy to try to establish fastball cutter early, or he just responded to what the Mets were doing, reading their swings, their approach. Today he might be staying away from the secondary stuff just because he's having a hard time getting feel. That's a good curve.
He's been terrific in this ballpark and against the Phillies. I was talking with Kyle Hendricks this morning. Really good last night. He likes pitching here, and not a lot of pitchers would say that. John 4-0 with a 1.29 in 5 career starts here at Citizens Bank. Kyle basically said after the game last night, this is as locked in as I've been. Good battle here, Lester and Cabrera.
Yeah, Cabrera will not be able to complain about not being challenged here by Lester. He's got a lot of fastballs to swing at out over the plate.
Back-to-back 2-out singles, Bautista and Santana. And pitch number 8 coming to Cabrera. Here it is. Swing and a miss. His second strikeout. Phillies strand a couple. 3 hits, and they did not score. With no runs. And this replay is brought to you by IDOT, reminding you that safe driving habits really are a matter of life or death. Learn more at lifeordeathillinois.com. 2-run triple for Kyle Schwarber last night. In the 3rd inning, that made it 4-0, and the Cubs would win the game 7-1. And he fouls out of play.
Yeah, that was the big knock of the game. Gave Kyle a little breathing room. It came with 2 outs. Very clutchy.
Joe has talked about Schwarber and Happ in particular, and said they have to do damage against right-handed pitching, and they did last night. Schwarber with the triple of Zach Eflin, and later Ian Happ homered off Edubray Ramos. That missed the inside corner, and it's 2-1.
This is the Cubs' second look at Nola this year. He pitched in Chicago back on June 6th. He got a no decision, worked 6 innings, allowed 3 runs. Tied a season high with 4 walks in that ball game.
College football season underway. A lot of chatter yesterday about a lot of games going on, and condolences this morning for Brian Butterfield as Michigan lost to Notre Dame. But according to Butter, the Wolverines are going to run the table.
He bleeds maize and blue, or whatever the color combination is.
Kyle Schwarber asked him yesterday in the clubhouse. He was walking by. He goes, "What time's the game tonight?" Butter goes, "I have no idea." 7:30 NBC. Yeah, he bleeds maize and blue. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Nola with 3 strikeouts early.
It's September. Everybody in. Support your Cubs during this final month as they push their way toward another run at the postseason. Tickets are available for all remaining games, but they're going fast. Visit Cubs.com before it's too late. Don't wait. Don't be one of those, "Oh man, I can't believe I didn't pull the trigger."
Contreras takes a strike.
Brian Butterfield's uncle, a longtime football coach, and he and his dad both, I believe, played football at the University of Maine, and then coached. And the Maine helmets, I don't know if they still do, but back then they had the same look as Michigan. That's why Butter adopted Michigan.
0-2.
But his dad would bring home broken helmets all the time, and he's a little guy. He just put a different helmet on every day and wear it around the house.
That's great. Oh, 2 pitch, swing and a miss. Might not be a better curveball in the game today than Aaron Nola possesses. And a lot of conversation about the Cy Young race in the National League. Nola, DeGrom, and Scherzer. And for me, it's DeGrom currently, but it's not a no-brainer.
No,
I think
the Cubs will be able to provide some reviews, because we just saw DeGrom, we're seeing Nola, and we'll likely see Scherzer next weekend. A bit of a gauntlet this run of starting pitching the Cubs have been up against to continue to win games. As a matter of fact, they've been very good, not in terms of scoring runs, but in terms of winning games started by these aces that they've faced.
And I think that speaks to the Cubs starting pitching during this stretch too.
And the Nola game back in June at Wrigley was the one where Jason Hayward hit the walk-off grand slam.
A little more energy in the park in terms of the home fans today than in the first 2 games, and I think that's because of the guy on the mound. Popped up by Happ, foul territory. Alfaro and Cabrera over, but no play. Saris wrote a great piece this week in The Athletic trying to sort out Nola's season. The Baseball Reference WAR number is interesting because the Phillies defense has been so bad that Nola may be getting a little extra credit, or not taking, I guess, extra blame, so to speak, for some plays that have not been made behind him. And we'll dig into that a little bit later. Called strike 3. Nasty stuff from Nola. He just struck out the side. And we go to the bottom of the 2nd. Careful, guys. Be nice. 0-0. WGN Sports, Cubs and Brewers from Milwaukee. Zach Davies off the DL against Cole Hamills. Hamills 4-0 to start his Cubs career. Brewers have an early lead, 2-0 at Washington. Bottom of the second. And they lost their game. It ended actually early this morning. They had rain in D.C. last night. Brewers gave it up in the 8th inning. That is a Guerra-Jeffrey Rodriguez matchup. Scott Kingery lines one foul to start the Phillies' second. Gio Gonzalez will be available in the Brewer bullpen for this upcoming series against the Cubs. Probably will join their rotation at some point. Curtis Granderson, by the way, is leading off today for Milwaukee. They're giving Lorenzo Cain the day off. Well, it's nice to have extra players, but I'm sure some managers privately would tell you when you acquire a bunch of guys, you feel like you got to get them into the action. It gets tricky.
You got to have that meeting when you acquire veteran players who are used to playing a lot. Sometimes you have to have that conversation. Look, the dynamic is going to change for you over here. You're a role player. You're a bench guy. You're an everyday guy. If somebody gets hurt, and most I think veteran guys that get traded this late in the year realize that. Without looking at their roster, I would bet it would be pretty easy for Craig Counsell to field a lineup completely of guys who were not on his team last year.
Pretty close.
And a pretty credible lineup.
Strike 3 called. Look, I don't know if it matters in the big picture, but I can just tell you this. I know John relishes matchups like this. And his last start was against Syndergaard because stuff-wise, right, it's always going to be advantage the other ace. But he just keeps doing what he does.
Well, height-wise too.
Yeah,
right?
are 20-7 in his starts, and he, if you can fly under the radar for someone with his resume, he has. And I think there's a little chip on the shoulder thing that motivates him. Pedro Floramone missed a bunch of time with a broken foot.
Wow, that's a wide zone again.
Cubs won that game 7-4. Swing and a miss, 1-2.
As that East-West game, get the outside pitch called, then bury the cutter down and in. He hits it. He's likely going to hit it off his foot. Just yank it foul.
He gets Floramone. That's 3 straight strikeouts, and we've now seen a lot in a row. 7 strikeouts in a row.
A lot of red. We're using a lot of red ink here today. On Monday, September 24, Cubs take on the Buccos, and they celebrate Hispanic Heritage Night at Wrigley Field. All participants that purchase tickets through the Community Nights page receive a Los Cubs t-shirt. For more information and to purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com/Community Nights.
6 consecutive strikeouts in this game. Cabrera, Schwarber, Contreras, Happ, Kingery, Floramone.
Well, here comes Alfaro, and he strikes out a bunch. 37% strikeout rate.
Jorge Alfaro with his first and only action of the series. Wilson Ramos playing the first 2 games. Alfaro making his 88th start. Swing and a miss. And you know, Alfaro kind of the catcher, not only of the present but the future, but has to swallow his pride a little bit when they acquire a guy like Wilson Ramos. All about the team right now.
I think, he's had opportunities to convince the Phillies that he should be the guy, and he's improved. He has power, but that high strikeout rate works against him. So until he fine-tunes that part of his game, there's going to be questions.
It is really warming up. 83 when we started.
Yeah, the real feel was supposed to be in the 90s here today. They're expecting record temperatures on Tuesday.
Sharply hit grounder to the shortstop, and Baez makes the play, and the Phillies go 1-2-3 in the second. Nothing after 2. Subway third inning triple play promotion. Text Subway to 97999. Right now, the 300th texter gets a $30 gift card to a Subway restaurant in the Chicagoland area. Subway, so much sandwich.
On Monday the 10th, the Cubs will be home to play the Brewers. First pitch will be at 7:05, and the first 10,000 early arriving fans receive an El Mago t-shirt presented by MasterCard. Tickets still available for this one, Cubs.com.
I don't know if that's Javi's biggest fan, but here's John Lester. I might take him deep.
Ooh, what
before
a
you
bold
laugh.
Call.
Before you laugh. In Nola's major league debut, he gave up 1 run in 2015. A solo homer to Nathan Carnes, pitching for the Rays that day.
And 0-2. And Uncle Charlie, well, John drove in 2 runs with a base hit in his last start. He also picked off from there, made a spectacular catch on a line drive.
Playing the whole game. Now that's not fair. All right, so he didn't homer that time. That is 5 consecutive strikeouts for Nola. Hey, Cub fans, check out the WGN Sports Game Zone to connect to all the up-to-the-minute stats and info while watching at home. Game Zone is sponsored by The Great Escape. Pools, patio furniture, hot tubs, and more. Escape your everyday. Shop The Great Escape. One ball has been put in play by a Cub hitter. That was Daniel Murphy's fly to center to start the game. Since then, strikeout, walk, strikeout, 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 strikeout.
Like the big kid in Little League, just dominating the hitters. And you frequently hear guys that play high school ball, college ball, maybe even a little minor league ball. So I didn't make it. I couldn't hit the curveball. I tell you what, many big league hitters have a hard time with that pitch as well.
A pretty good fastball too. Bodie off the bench, pinch hit RBI double and a run in the ninth. He's batting ninth today, playing third. And his role changing with Chris Bryant back.
Maybe that Ripperger is willing to give you that one off the edge for strike one, but maybe not for strike three.
This is impressive. He's got 7 strikeouts. First time through the order.
Find out what the Philly record for consecutive strikeouts is. Dangerous curves ahead, says the road sign.
So back to the Eno Saris piece, talking about Nola. It's not his fault when a routine play isn't made, so he shouldn't be blamed for it statistically. But does he deserve 0 blame for credit for all balls in play, right? And so when it comes to a Cy Young vote, do you go with what happened or consider what should have happened? If he had Gold Glove players behind him on balls in play, his numbers might be a little bit better. It is generally accepted that once a ball is in play, the pitcher doesn't have a lot of control. The idea is about 30% of those balls end up being hits. So the answer is probably somewhere in the middle. He shouldn't be blameless for balls in play, but he shouldn't get dinged too much as well. And I guess the bottom line is if you strike out more people like he is today,
yeah,
you control the uncontrollable a little bit.
Break it down into quality of contact too. If he's giving up a high percentage of line drives, different than giving up pop-ups on the infield or slow rollers.
Or if he fouls it off himself. And I guess the other part of the bigger picture thing with this topic is the credit blame thing is probably always going to be discussed when it comes to pitching and defense and who
and that's what
gets the blame or credit.
Some of these advanced analytics of fielding independent pitching and Sierra and things of that nature.
And that's where I do think, I don't have a Cy Young vote, neither do you, but I think strikeout rate matters a lot. Because when you keep the ball out of play,
well, strikeout rate, walk rate, and home run rate. That's what the advanced analytics are talking about. Because the ball's, you're punching people out, you're not walking people, you're keeping them in the yard. A lot of what happens beyond that is out of your control.
Murphy in the air to right, and the Cubs have the lead. After Nola had struck out 6 in a row, he couldn't get Murphy. 1-0.
Murphy, because of his days with the Mets and the Nationals, I guess more so with the Nationals because Nola's still very much a young player, has seen Nola more than anybody else on this Cubs club, and he had good numbers against them coming in. He was 9 out of 26. Had a pretty good whack at that first pitch fastball to start the ball game. Not quite as good as this one. And this is impressive, boy. This is up, way up above the belt. And he was able to turn on it.
That is something. And that's why the Cubs acquired Daniel Murphy. The ability to hit good and great pitching. Kingery gets Baez. All right, John's got his run. Courtesy Daniel Murphy. It's 1-0 in the third.
The Southwest Airlines, how far did it fly? The distance of the Daniel Murphy home run, 367 feet. Go to WGNTV.com/contest for a chance to win round trip travel for two on Southwest Airlines in the United States and Puerto Rico.
So Murphy continues his fine work against Nola and the Phillies. And Aaron is down 0-2 to John Lester. Called strike three, exploiting that outside edge.
That's 5 punch outs for John here in the early going. Season high is 8. He's done it a couple of times.
We're on the bottom of the third. And we have seen 12 strikeouts in this game.
I think Gabe Kapler has really done John a favor here today with all the right-handed bats. This allows him to kind of settle in, get into a rhythm.
Quinn doubled the lead off the bottom of the first and was thrown out trying to stretch it into a triple.
You know, John doesn't have those kinds of splits where you think, oh my goodness, he's not going to run any left-handed batters up there. Kind of a split neutral kind of guy, and by having all right-handed bats, it just allows him to settle in. We've talked about this a lot. You know, you need your lineup to present a little different look to a pitcher. You know, whether it's 1 or 2 left-handed bats in there, changes his game a little bit, forces him to use a different mix.
Murphy will make the grab in the right field grass. High-speed replay powered by Xfinity. These two starters missing bats early on.
Today's game brought to you by the letter K. Nola 94 with movement and a good curveball. Lester unrelenting with that cutter in, fastball away. Good hook.
Ball one to Hoskins. That's a strike. John working on an extra day of rest. Cubs used Alec Mills ahead of Mike Montgomery's return from the DL this week, giving guys a 24-hour breather beyond what they normally get. I guess if you want to be technical, he got an 18-hour add-on. Right?
It's a day game.
He would have started at 7 o'clock last night. Three-one cutter caught the heart of the plate, but Hoskins could only foul it back.
Three and one to a dangerous hitter. He took a shot and Hoskins just pulled off it a little bit.
A fanatic with a lot of energy for a Sunday. That's not a big surprise.
Treating Nola Day like a holiday around here. And giving him the Strasburg treatment when Strasburg first came to the big leagues with the Nationals.
That's a great shot. Intensity on the right and goofball on the left.
Everybody's got a job to do at the ballpark.
That is right. Base hit left field. So Hoskins keeps the Phillies alive for Bautista.
Again, a ball up intentionally though, and Hoskins had to work really hard to get to it.
Here's the pitch. And it's off the outside on a curve. We've seen Bautista in 3 different uniforms this season, all NL East teams.
Yeah, his strikeout rate is way up for Bautista, especially compared to his prime years in Toronto. Still dangerous though, still has plenty of power in that bat. Had a 50 home run season on his resume. And just 4 active. And well, here are the last 6 occurrences of a 50 home run season.
Chris Davis with a K did his 40th last night. That's 3 straight 40-100 seasons. All with Oakland. He has never been an all-star, by the way.
A's hanging in there, 2.5 games behind the Astros in the American League West.
Runner at first, 2 outs. Cubs lead by a run here in the 3rd. I'm not buying that it's 334 to the foul pole. Is that inches?
Relative to the size of the combatants.
That's going to hold up, and Happ will make the catch. And Lester gets out of the third with no damage done.
Fourth inning brought to you by Wendy's 4 for $4. Now with more choices than ever at participating locations for a limited time.
Cubs lead the season series 3-2. Anthony Rizzo takes a curve strike.
Nice adjustment by Nola. He tried fastball away first time with Anthony a couple of times, and they were off the plate. He fell behind. This time he starts with the get over curveball.
Rizzo in the air out into deep right center. It will go! A home run! Just snuck it over the fence in right center. It's 2-0.
You know that old adage about good pitching stopping good hitting, maybe not always true, because two really good hitters have gotten to Nola here today for home runs. Murphy on a high fastball. Rizzo, I think it was a changeup. And this is all about him on top of the plate, changing Nola's approach. I don't know if it was changeup or sinker. Yeah, changeup. Most impressive.
Strike one on Chris Bryant. Murphy and Rizzo comparing notes after both taking Nola deep. Murphy with his 9th. Rizzo number 23. Crack bat single. Chris Bryant.
Pressure butts a pipe. Well, what do you say we take a look at the Southwest Airlines How Far Did It Fly? The distance of the Anthony Rizzo home run. Calculating 398 feet. Go to WGNTV.com/contest for a chance to win round trip travel for two on Southwest Airlines in the United States and Puerto Rico. Maybe Daniel and Anthony will take a trip together.
Schwarber with the man on, nobody out. So after 6 consecutive strikeouts and 7 out of 8, Cubs have gone 3 for their last 4 with 2 home runs.
Talking to some folks around here about Nola, one of the things was a common thread was he doesn't let bad things influence him too much. Pretty steady out there with his approach on the mound. Not going to crater under duress.
That is a very good trait.
He's allowed 20% of his season's home runs here today. Just 8 coming into this start. See how I did that?
Yep.
2 makes 10.
Two and 0 to Schwarber. That number 2 on the back's just bugging me. The top hook on the 2. It's touching.
Too long.
Yes. Gotta be space. You need to do a select all on the computer and then hit the minus button. Just make it a little smaller. Let's see what Schwarber gets here on a 2-0. Fastball, and he missed it. 2-1.
Gutsy pitch. Challenge heater on 2-0 to Schwarber. Late getting started.
Back to the bag. Cubs lead 2-0 on a couple of solos, Murphy and Rizzo. Three and 1.
Nola had not allowed a home run in his last 4 starts. And a 1.06 ERA month of August.
Not a big lead by Bryant. Schwarber swings and misses. That's the changeup. Now he comes set. Another check on Bryant. Probably not running here with the strikeout being in play. And nobody out. And he gets Schwarber. Cub fans, don't forget to check out the Cubs blog at WGNTV.com, presented by Nationwide's Jeff Vukovich. Go to jeffvuk.com or follow him on social media. Nationwide is on your side. Gotta believe that changeup kind of changed the calculus for Kyle too, because now you're thinking all kinds of possibilities. We got 80, 85, 93, and when push has come to shove here, he's gone to that curveball and strikeout spots today.
He had one pitch to hit, the 2-0 fastball, and just couldn't catch up to it.
That will go foul. I'm getting support on Twitter for the odd 2 on the Enola jersey today. I opened a can of worms.
Thing's not far from being an 8.
Right. From a far distance, it is kind of tough to decipher. Pitch number 2 on our Xfinity pitch cast. That's clearly a 2. Kind of a jam shot, so they will. Well, they turn it. I didn't think they would.
Pretty slick.
Yep. Kingery and Floramone team up and get the 6-4-3. Rizzo led off the inning with a home run, and it's now 2-0 Cubs in the 4th.
Budweiser joined the team that enjoys responsibly. Budweiser reminds you to drink wiser.
Great to have you with us today. Hope your Labor Day weekend is going well.
Oh, cool that dome, my friends.
Stay cool.
This guy's equal parts Don Zimmer and Ron Gardenhire.
It's good. I was contemplating that very thing. He looked like somebody we know.
Zimmenhire.
Two nothing Cubs lead. Santana switch hitter. And John moves his feet. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Line drive single to right field last time for Santana. game similar to John's last one in that he gave up hard contact in the first, but unlike the Mets start, he did not give up any runs early. He settled in. Whoop. Slipped sliding away there. Curveball squirted out of his hand.
Santana always works a good at bat. Takes a ton of walks. On the year, 92 walks, 82 strikeouts. Foul tip. And he caught Contreras on the backswing. It was Caratini last night. He dinged. Fouled out of play. So he's patient, but he's not passive. I mean, when he wants to attack, he does.
Oh yeah, he's trying to. He's all about doing damage. So he's trying to work himself into a favorable count and then do damage. And if he doesn't get a pitch to his liking, he's willing to accept his walk.
Fair ball, backhanded Bodie. Got it. Let's step aside and see what's coming up on WGN. Rubber game here in Philadelphia. Cubs 9-3 to start this 23-game stretch with no off days. Cabrera takes a strike. Nationals have tied the Brewers 2-2 as they play the bottom of the third in Washington. Outside on a curve that missed.
Cabrera struck out to end the first with a couple of guys on base, and it was mostly fastballs in that sequence from John.
Scott Kingery on deck. Three of the four Phillies hits came in the opening inning. They did not get a run.
They marched down the field, did not push it across the goal line.
Only to be denied.
Goal line stand. Morphing into golf metaphors, golf analogies this time, or football rather than golf, I should say. Well, the Brewers got to be playing with a sense of desperation these days, especially with this upcoming series with the Cubs. They're going to have to go like crazy to catch them.
And they're now trailing 4-2. That's a base hit for Cabrera. Might be more as Schwarber made a nice play as that ball took a tricky hop at the end, but he fielded it cleanly and keeps Cabrera to a single.
That ball had some pace on it out there in the outfield. I thought Kyle might have to leave his feet to prevent it from going to the wall. He did not. You can see Hobby in this shot, but he jumped to try to slap it with his bare hand just because.
So interesting what you said about the Brewers. I'm curious what Craig Counsell will say going into this series tomorrow. They'll be anywhere between 4 and 6 games behind the Cubs. Right now they're holding a wild card spot, but there are a lot of teams all bunched together within a couple of games. There are two ways to attack it, I guess, publicly. Every team wants to win the division, but you could say, hey, we're not worried about the Cubs. We're just trying to win as many games as we can. We're in a playoff spot at the moment. It's way more likely that that's what they'll be battling for. So there might be a point, I don't know when that is, when the Brewers start rooting for the Cubs to beat teams that are challenging them. Baez can't get it. Kingery a hit. Back-to-back one-out singles for the Phillies here in the fourth.
Well, here's the math. Cubs have 27 games remaining. If they go 14-13, it's just one game better than 500. Not unreasonable to expect that. The Brewers would have to go 18-7 to tie them with 94 wins.
Right.
Both of those scenarios are plausible. Cubs could play just a game better than 500 the rest of the way, and the Brewers could go nuts and win 18 of 25, but it's highly unlikely.
So if there's a Brewer fan out there, they're probably rooting against the Cubs today, right?
Yeah.
But it's very possible 2.5 weeks from now we might look back at this game and a Brewer fan might go, man, I wish I had rooted for the Phillies or for the Cubs to beat the Phillies.
Yeah, it's a tough time to be a fan with the wild card and all the other implications. You just don't know what to do.
And yes, I know most Brewer fans would root against the Cubs no matter what. The Cubs fans would root against the Cardinals no matter what. It doesn't matter who's where in the standings. I get it. But we're just trying to do the math. One strike on Pedro Floramone. Plays everywhere, including emergency pitcher. He has made 2 appearances. As we have had a big-time spike in position players pitching in blowouts.
Why burn out the bullpen, right, in a 9-1 ball game?
I might call it a spate of position players
That's
pitching.
fair. Mm-hmm.
An underutilized word, I think.
Floramone, well-traveled, started with Baltimore back in 2011. Moved on to the Twins. A lot of minor league time. 2013 with Minnesota, he played in 134 ball games. That's the only season where he received regular playing time at the big league level. And fans might remember him with the Pirates a little bit in 15 and 16. 15 games for the Phillies last year. Lifetime .213 hitter at the big league level.
Swing and a miss, strike 3.
No Maikel Franco in there today. No Hernandez. No Herrera. A really different look for the Phillies lineup this afternoon. I'll tell you the guy, and he's on the bench now, he just recently called up, Aaron Altair. Having an off year, got sent to the minor leagues. When we saw him at Wrigley last year, I thought this dude's like Mickey Mantle. He was doing everything. I think the acquisition of Santana pushed Hoskins to the outfield, and it cost Altair regular playing time, and as a part-time player, just never really came together for him. But if I were the Phils, I wouldn't give up on him. He's a good-looking player.
They'll have Justin Bohr available, left-handed bat, off the bench later. He was reinstated from the DL today. Alfaro bats with 2 on and 2 down and takes a strike.
It's a good start there. Now you can expand, and he's likely to chase. 37% strikeout rate, as I mentioned last time he was up there. That is the highest among all players with at least 300 plate appearances. Oh,
0-2. He'll take a walk around and try to gather his thoughts.
Yeah, you can almost get into his head too, especially with Ramos here now, taking over a lot of the playing time. Alfaro trying to do some damage with a couple of guys on base.
Lester already with 6 strikeouts, only in the 4th inning, and he's got Alfaro down 0-2. High that time.
Show me elevated fastball, maybe to set up a breaking ball down, either the slower curveball or the cutter down and in.
One and two. Contreras working hard. That ball gets by him, and all of a sudden they have 2 in scoring position in a 2-run game.
Alfaro showing some restraint there. I don't know that he can do it. 3 in a row.
Two home, bounce toward the middle, backhanded by Murphy, and he'll hold on to it. Smart play. The man's got to know his own limitations, and Daniel Murphy, instead of making a wild throw toward first, just decided to hang on. So it's Aaron Nola coming up, bases loaded.
Yeah, that's the thing. You got 2 outs. You got the pitcher coming up here. You don't want to make a mistake trying to make a heroic play when there's none to be made. You see the temptation because Alfaro doesn't run particularly well. Not a bad idea to try to sneak in the back door there. At third base on Cabrera. He's savvy to it.
So pitcher against pitcher with the bases full and 2 outs. Nola caught looking in the 3rd. Seven hits now for the Phillies. A chopper to Bodie. And they leave him loaded. 6 stranded through 4. And Lester has a 2-0 lead over Aaron Nola. up on Tuesday, September 25th. The Cubs host the Pirates at 7:05 p.m. Up to the first 10,000 early arriving adults 21 and over receive a Cubs drawstring hat presented by Rum Chata. Tickets are still available at Cubs.com. And Cub fans, show your team pride with Cubs checking and an official Cubs MasterCard debit card. Only available at your local Wintrust Community Bank. Go to wintrust.com/Cubs to learn more. Member FDIC.
You ever hear of a micro beetle before?
I have now. San Diego, right?
Yeah, they were having a hat giveaway in San Diego yesterday, and they discovered micro beetles, whatever they are, in there.
Apparently they're not harmful. They decided to hold off on the giveaway.
Well, let's see who's going places, brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. Going places. Most innings with multiple runs this season. A lot of crooked numbers being put up there by the Braves, the Cubs, the Rockies, the Reds, and the Dodgers. Cubs did it last night 3 times.
Here's Ian Happ, caught looking on strikes in the second inning.
Yeah, well, I mentioned Alfaro with that strikeout rate being the highest in the league among those with 300 plate appearances. Ian is second, 36%.
Walk rate at 15%. So,
yeah, that's a big difference between the two. Alfaro doesn't walk much.
Happ's walk rate up almost double the league average.
I wonder if you're going to see him start to be a little more aggressive early, though. The MO, and it's a solid one. We talked about it with Santana, about patience and power. Try to get into hitters' counts where you can do damage. But, you know, you're susceptible, obviously, once you get to 2 strikes. And, might pay off to be a little more aggressive early. And, part of the Christian Yelich story in Milwaukee. He's been ambushing first pitches, and it's paid off big time. That's what Ian was doing in spring training, and then on the very first pitch of the season.
Joe talked about playing time and plate appearances. Man, it's pretty good in terms of giving everybody opportunities. As Happ strikes out. That's Ian's 401st plate appearance. Albert Almora has 412. And there's certain guys you're trying to do your best to keep them fresh.
Yeah, and then as you get late in the season like this, you get into a race, you start to narrow the focus a little bit.
John Lester working with a 2-0 lead as he bats here in the 5th.
Some fan down below us during the inning break, he looked up at me and he took his Eagles hat off and he pointed to the logo emphatically. I think it was like, well, you may be winning this game so far today, but we won the Super Bowl.
That's fair.
We're supposed to take umbrage.
Did you tell him, yeah, but you don't have Khalil Mack?
I would have, but I didn't know who Khalil Mack was until the Bears acquired him yesterday.
Okay.
And I saw there's a lot of excitement about that. So this guy must really be a player.
Called strike 3. Are you playing fantasy football this year?
Yeah, I'm in.
You might want to know who Khalil Mack is.
As long as the computer knows. That's what
David Bodie now.
I have a general manager on my club. His name is Otto. Last name Draft.
10 strikeouts for Nolan.
That's a guy.
Right there. He said,
hey, pal.
Was he friendly about it, or was it more?
He was neutral. He was just letting me know.
All right.
Yeah. was just a friendly reminder.
Strike. 0-2. It's foul.
No fun to be down 2 strikes against Nola because he has so many weapons. And to protect against so much, the movement and the velocity, and then that nasty curveball. Probably won't throw his changeup very much to right-handed hitters. Doesn't need to.
Bounced right to Santana. We'll say hi to your friend again, JD. Hey!
Hey!
We got Ditka.
MJ, way better than Dr. J.
Cubs' upcoming schedule. It is brought to you by Ram Trucks, built to serve. We have 2 of the 3 games in Milwaukee right here on WGN Sports. Tomorrow at 1 o'clock and Wednesday night at 7. Third time through now for John Lester. Quinn swings away and elevates. It'll be Ian Happ for the first out.
Love that. Third time through the order. First pitch out, recorded. Phillies got 2 3-hit scoreless innings today. That's fairly rare.
Tyler Chatwood still struggling with his command. Rehab outing with Iowa. 5 walks and 2 1/3 today. Guessing we'll see Brian Dunsing back here soon.
Third time it takes a little spike. That's fairly normal. Not universal, but for most guys. You see the batting average spike third time through. Yeah, I wish I knew the answer on Tyler Chatwood. I mean, he's got to be going through just a...
I don't know if it's a
all kinds of torment mentally, yeah.
Mechanical overhaul or what, but
yeah, well, you know, it clearly has become mental, but a mechanical change could help fix that.
Inside to Hoskins.
See John rolling his wrist a little bit there. I hope he's not cramping up a little bit in the forearm.
Sweltering hot day. 3-2.
Speaking of cramping on a hot day, happy birthday to Jason Hamill, celebrating a birthday today.
Well played.
And a couple of our colleagues, Rex Hudler and Rick Manning, both celebrating birthdays. All high caliber individuals.
Bodie will cut it off, and the throw is in time.
Makes all the plays. Left, right, big arm. Good decisions. Go ahead, Javi.
Bautista's had a good start to the day with a single and a hard hit line out. He's playing right, batting third for the Phillies. Takes strike one.
Well, these guys matched up a lot in their American League days. Bautista's hit 5 home runs against John in his career. A lot of plate appearances. 64 coming into play today.
High drive, playable for Happ. Drifting. He's got it. Quick 1-2-3 for Lester. Cubs 2, Phillies nothing after 5. Meyer, true Chicago fans. Cubs lead 2-0. Murphy and Rizzo homered off Aaron Nola.
Hey, congratulations, honeymooners.
There have been multiple scoreboard proposals this weekend. I don't know if that's a daily occurrence here at Citizens Bank Park, but there were Cub fans who got engaged, right? Earlier in the series. Well, I think they were treated fairly well by the Phillies fans. That's fair. And Santana unassisted for the first out.
Cub fans, join the Cubs season ticket holder waiting list today to claim your spot in our lineup for season tickets. It's easy and free to register. For details, visit Cubs.com/waiting list.
Keon Broxton just hit a go-ahead 3-run homer for Milwaukee. 5-4 Brewers over the Nationals. The Brewers play a lot of tight games, don't they?
Yeah, well, they score a lot of runs, and their bullpen's had a very hard time holding teams down here. They do have the ability to come back on you. They've got a lot of firepower.
I guess Hader and Jeffress were not available last night when the Pen gave up the lead late. I think Greg Counsell's quote was something to the effect of, "That's the way it is, and that's the way it's going to be. There's just going to be certain days where those guys can't pitch."
Sure. So let it be written, so let it be done. He talked about Hader being a max effort guy, and sometimes they use Hader for multiple innings. Javi 0 for 2 today. He's batting .389 over his last 12 with 4 home runs. I figured this would be a tough matchup. Well, it was a tough matchup for anybody, but with that good breaking pitch, he doesn't make a mistake with it. It's going to be a tough day for Javi, but if he leaves it in the zone, that's where Javi's shown marked improvement.
That's deep to right in the corner, and it is foul. Just foul. Here's a question for you. Pat Venditti, right? The switch pitcher. Kind of made a name for himself a couple of years ago. And might we see a pitcher, a relief pitcher, develop over the course of time? Not necessarily who throws right and left, but who has different styles, who can throw 99, but could also play the Kyle Hendricks game, and you could use him more often. That is a towering shot, and it's number 30. Number 100 driven in for Javier Baez. 3-0.
That was one impressive swing of the bat from Javier Baez. My goodness.
Round numbers today. It's his 500th career game. And he just hit his 30th of 2018, knocked in his 100th run.
Belt high inside part of the plate. See you later. Southwest Airlines, how far did it fly? The distance of the Javi Baez home run, 420. Go to WGNTV.com/contest for a chance to win round trip travel for 2 on Southwest Airlines in the United States and Puerto Rico. The long game.
Rizzo fouls away. 3-0. All on home runs. Middle infielders with 30 in a single season. He's the first to do it since Rhino. And previously, Hornsby and Banks. That's a pretty heady list.
Yeah, you get a nickname when you're on that list. There's Rhino, Mr. Cub, Raja, and El Mago. So anyway, Javi interrupted our conversation there.
No, I'm
Would
just
there
saying.
be a pitcher who had the ability to adapt his style?
Maybe he is a Pat Neshek-like sidewinder. Throws 88 one day, and the next day he's over the top 98. There you go. This is your soft toss day. And theoretically, it could work, right? Why do you have to be the same pitcher all the time?
I don't know.
Now, you might say you could do that in the same outing, but
it'd be very difficult to master that skill set, but I wouldn't say it's impossible.
Give me hard-throwing Jim Deshaies Monday, Thursday, and Sunday. But if I need you in the interim, I want the guy who throws 84.
The drop-down sidewinder. I mean, there have been plenty of guys who have evolved that way throughout their careers. Frank Tanana, a guy who always comes to mind when you have a conversation about a power guy who turned into a finesse guy later on, and
but
still
he couldn't
success.
go back to being the power guy.
Right, that part was already done.
Yeah. Or maybe better put, a guy who sits 88 but can hit 98. Now that would be fun. Right? So, you know, you're Kyle Hendricks, and all of a sudden 97 once an inning.
Yeah.
Rizzo draws the walk. Second time Nola has given up 3 homers in a game in his career. And he'll face Chris Bryant with a man on and 1 out.
Yeah. Talk a lot about the value of on base, but slugging on display here today. The Cubs have only 4 hits, but 3 of them have left the ballpark. They've been out hit 7-4. A bunch of strikeouts, but 3 big swings of the bat.
That's Rick Kranitz, former Cubs coach, Phillies pitching coach. Victor Arano. That's high for ball 1. Milwaukee pulling away now. Christian Yelich grand slam. It's 9-4. Top of the 5th. So if you're the Cubs, you'd hope Craig Counsell would have to use Hader and Jeffress and all their top guys today, but I'm sure Craig Counsell would prefer to save them for this big series starting tomorrow. He is in the bullpen. Junior Guerra only went 3 in that start. But again, with the September rosters,
right,
you get a big break.
You can manage with that sense of urgency now if you're trying to catch up as the Brewers are. Changes the game. It's kind of bogus. Everybody knows it. Everybody talks about it. Nobody fixes it. Well, what lies ahead for these teams in this NL Central race? Cubs have 14 home and their remaining 27 and 12 against winning clubs. The Brewers appear to have the softest schedule, just 9 against teams with winning records. Cardinals have been really hot for a long time.
That's foul. Don checks in on Twitter. Might want to do some research on Joe McGinnity, the Hall of Famer.
Iron Joe
had two different styles. Conventional overhand motion in the opener of a doubleheader, and then a submariner in game 2.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, well,
there
back in the day, a lot of those guys would work both ends of a doubleheader. Or you could, what if you were a conventional pitcher but also had a knuckleball?
Mm-hmm. Kind of buried the lead. Shohei Ohtani, two-way player, will be back on the mound tonight for the Angels. Hasn't pitched in a while, but has been active and used for his offense. Will be his 10th start. He hasn't pitched since June 6th.
Folks, check out the variety of luxury premier options that Wrigley Field has to offer for your next client, corporate, or family function, like the all-inclusive Fannie Mae suite located in center field. Visit Cubs.com/premier for an option that fits your needs.
The season Ohtani has had is fascinating for a lot of reasons, but one of them is he's made 9 starts, been really good. His OPS is .897. He has 15 homers in 89 games. Called strike 3. Bryant not so sure. You be the judge.
Borderline
umpire.
Yeah, it just might have been right on that outside corner, maybe a little bit off. Ripperger. I always want to call him Ripperberger, but it's not. Ripperger. He's been pretty generous with that outside edge.
But Ohtani has not played the field aside from pitching. That's it.
So DH.
That's it. DH for pinch hit and pitching. So for those who don't like the DH has allowed Ohtani to be a unique two-way player. Now, if he were on a National League team, they would have to find another position for him.
Play the outfield, right? That would.
Kyle late on 94. Ohtani will face Garrett Cole in the Sunday night matchup, Angels and Astros. Farrell could not hang on to it.
I'll eat it fast today, kids. It's going to be soup pretty soon. Interesting grip.
Yeah. No one way to do it.
On the cap, go ahead and get it. Good take, tough take on 0-2, having punched out twice already.
Nola's career high is 12, and he's one away from tying it. Pop foul back out of play. May 8th against the Giants. A dozen strikeouts for Nola.
This is kind of a 2018 baseball in a nutshell, isn't it? There have been 5 balls put in play by the Cubs today, when you discount the home runs. Six balls in play.
1 per inning.
2 outs in the 6th. But you can't say that the approach hasn't paid off when you've hit 3 solo home runs and have a 3-run lead.
I think Nola's ready. Two balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah,
Nola
he really slows it down with men on base.
has taken 3 picks after Kyle Schwarber in the first round in 2014. From Baton Rouge, and as we mentioned earlier, pitched at LSU. Later roomed with Alex Bregman in college.
Would have been more appropriate if he were from New Orleans as opposed to Baton Rouge.
Nola
still plays Nola in Louisiana.
Ground ball, fair. That's going to roll into the corner. Bautista lost sight of it, and Rizzo's going to score. Schwarber on his way to third. He's got another triple. His second in as many games. 4-0. Nick Bautista thought that ball was going to hit the angled wall, and when it didn't, it took him a little longer to get into the corner.
Yeah, I don't know that he saw it very well, but what a great at bat by Schwarber. Down 2 strikes. He laid off that one curveball down and in. This curveball sits up a little bit, stays in the zone, and he has become a triples machine here. As you see Bautista scrambling into the corner for it.
So they've knocked Nola out of the game, and he'll get an ovation here from the home crowd, but he leaves trailing 4-0. And we'll be right back. Against Wilson Contreras, the Cubs have doubled their lead.
Gabe Kapler has called his name for the 50th time. He's got a 2.66 ERA, worked an inning and a third on Friday, allowed a couple of hits, no runs, had a strikeout.
Swing and a miss. Ground ball to Floramone. Very impressive day for the Cubs offense against one of the best in the National League. Javier Baez in his 500th game just hit his 30th homer of the season. Cubs lead 4-0.
Here in the bottom half of the sixth, folks, still time to plan a group outing for games in September at Wrigley Field. Cubs offer ticket packages that include special perks for groups of 15 or more. To book your group experience, visit Cubs.com/groups.
Anthony Rizzo with a big day against Aaron Nola. And the Cubs wondering where he was. Got out here a little late, but 2 walks and a home run for Rizzo. And John Lester will face Carlos Santana here in the bottom of the 6th.
Now, obviously, the home runs are the headline grabbers, but the walk, especially the very first walk to Rizzo today with 2 outs in the first inning, I think really set the tone, because I think it influenced the way Nola pitched him in his second at bat when he hit that changeup for a home run. And walked him again in the 6th, and he came around to score on the Schwarber triple.
Justin Wilson getting loose in the Cubs bullpen. Lester with pitch number 93. Bounding ball to Baez. 1 down. Been a big ball game so far. Runs for the Cubs scoring on 3 homers and a triple. Meanwhile, the Phillies have 7 hits, 6 singles, and have yet to score. Two and 0 to Cabrera. I suppose we should mention the fact that Phillies hitting coach is John Maley. He certainly knows this Cubs pitching staff. So no real secrets in terms of how you should attack a John Lester or a Kyle Hendricks, but it's easier said than done. There's John, the Chicago native. Quintana, 6 innings, 1 run on Friday. Hendricks, 6 innings, 1 run last night. Lester into the 6th, shutting them out today.
The last couple of times around the rotation, it has been really good. Especially for the Lester, Hendricks, Hamill's group. Quintana as well, his last 2 times. Alec Mills had a really good one, then second one not quite as good. Mike Montgomery pitched in Atlanta the other day, got off to a nice start, and things went a little south on him, but that was his first time out after being on the DL for a while.
The 3-2 to Cabrera is popped into short center. Happ racing in. He leaves his feet, and that ball came up and I think hit him in the face. And it'll be a double for Cabrera. And Happ may be checking to make sure all of his teeth are still in place.
Good effort. Yeah, he really sold out. He came flying in. Sometimes very difficult to get a read on this ball. Right in the mush. Offering a $2 stake, that's not going to derail him.
Kingery 1 for 2.
Speaking of tough, Trish Speaker one time, the Hall of Famer, was coming down the third base line with his lead. The hitter hit a line drive, hit him in the face, and he went and got stitched up. And while he did, the umpires allowed then to put a replacement in center field for the bottom of the inning, for the half
and he
inning.
came back,
while
re-entered?
he was getting stitched up, and then he re-entered the game. And one of the reasons, and it's kind of funny because the issues that we deal with in baseball today, we've dealt with most of its history. The reason why the umpire allowed them to do that was because they were told not to have any unusual delays, because people were starting to be upset that some of the games were taking as long as 2 hours.
Interesting.
Back in the day, people didn't have all this leisure time on their hands. They had work to be done.
I was thinking about mid-inning pitching changes. Right? Would we ever get back to a point where you would only give a guy 2 or 3 warm-up tosses and essentially not have a big break? Guy comes in, takes a couple pitches, here we go. Instead of like a 2.5, 3 minute delay, it's
depending on a
minute.
Well, there's commercial breaks for one.
Well, that would be the biggest.
A part of the issue, and then, if the hitting team had a long half inning and then the guy goes back out there, you would probably give him some leeway. But maybe encourage pitchers to, hey, you know what? If you only need 3 or 4, only take 3 or 4.
He struck him out. Looked like it might have been off the outside, but again, Mark Ripperker has been giving that call today.
Yeah, and a smart veteran pitcher like John Lester is going to go back to the well every now and then and take advantage of it. That's a backdoor cutter. They got the job done. MLB At Bat is your #1 Cubs app. Customize your experience to catch every moment this season. Get Cubs home screen icons and features such as the MLB.TV Game of the Day, pitch tracking, so on and so forth.
Aaron Altair will pinch hit for Floramone. And Jimmy Hickey will head to the mound and talk it over.
Yeah, other people have talked about relievers coming into the game. Do they really need 8 pitches to get ready? I'm guessing more times than not they do not. Hot, steamy day. Big John unfazed.
Ball 1 to Altair.
Yeah, really disappointing year for Aaron Altair, hitting just a .171.
We called yesterday at AAA Lehigh Valley.
107 ball games for the Phillies last year, 412 plate appearances, 272 batting average, 340 on base, 516 slugging percentage, so well above league average OPS of 856. He had 19 home runs. This is his age 26 season, and you thought, well, he's on his way. His way went backwards this year. Looks the part. Big kid, 6'5", 215.
High drive to center. It's deep. Happ still going back. And he caught it right at the wall to end the inning. Aaron Altair nearly hit a 2-run homer, but the Phillies still have not scored through 6. to you by Budweiser. The band, The Memories, the song I'm Not Gonna Work Tomorrow. Bud Fan Cam, top of the 7th. And guess who leads off? The guy who made the nice catch to end the last half inning, Ian Happ. John Lester done for the day, and he was very good. Worked around 8 hits in his 6 innings. He didn't walk anybody, and he struck out 7 and was better than Aaron Nola. Altair now playing right as he contemplates what might have been on that deep fly. Bautista goes to third. Cabrera moves to second. 1-2 to Happ. Tommy LaStella's on deck. Two is wide. Cubs won the makeup game in Atlanta to start this long trip. That was Thursday night. The guy on deck hit the big go-ahead pinch homer in the 6th. And a drive out in the deep left center for Ian Happ. Off the top of the wall. It's going to stay in. Happ on his way to third. He'll have a triple. Pretty good couple of innings for Ian Happ, defense and offense.
Yeah, big part of the park to run one down, and then a big part of the yard to almost hit a home run. Has to settle for a leadoff 3-base hit here. This is becoming a trend. Schwarber with a couple, and now Happ just misses the home run.
And Quinn just missed a great catch. I think Joe wants to make sure that ball
did leave the ballpark.
I think they will see that it hit the top of the padding. And that W.B. Mason sign. Meanwhile, Rick Kranitz will talk things over with his pitcher. One more look. Yeah. And it's got to go over that chain link fence too. There's some flower beds in behind.
That's clearly in play. And you saw Joe kind of shrug, looking at Joe West as if to say, eh, why not take a look? Time now to see who's got momentum, brought to you by First Midwest Bank. That's run differential from the 7th inning on. Astros, A's, and then the Cubs with a +85, and no surprise there, all first place or contending teams. First Midwest Bank connect with a momentum maker today. The 7th inning has been a huge difference maker for the Cubs. They've outscored their opponents 103-50 in the 7th inning.
So they confirm that the ball did stay in. Adam Morgan up in the Philly bullpen.
Tommy La Stella probably appreciates the RBI opportunity.
Now, Gabe Kapler just came out of the dugout. But I don't. All right, so here's a question. So Rick Kranich just made a visit, but since then, Tommy La Stella was announced.
Well, yeah, I think was he announced prior to? Still would be the second mound visit in the inning. He'd have to go, right?
Yes.
Doesn't matter whether the hitter's announced or not. Yeah, so that is a visit. Yes, it is a visit. He's trying to make the case that because they were.
Yeah, but the pitching coach going out, he can't just go out anyway.
Right. It has no.
Right.
Whether there was a review or not, there's no bearing.
I'm not sure why it matters if he was going to make the change anyway.
Yeah.
Well, I think the question is, can you make 2 visits without, without a batter or a pitcher? But they announced the pinch hitter in between. That's why you can make the change. 4-0 Cubs. Game is John Lester. He's trying to notch his 15th win. And he was very good. Worked around some traffic early. Wrap your hands around the original Italian beef of the Chicago Cubs at one of the 25 Bona locations.
6 scoreless from John today. He did not walk a man. He struck out 6. Continues to dominate the Phillies.
Struck out 7, so give him another strikeout.
Another tally mark next to that one.
Here's Morgan.
Continuing his good work over his last. Make it 4 starts now. Lester really good. Adam Morgan, lefty, 56th appearance, 398 the earned run average.
So Joe able to burn La Stella with the extra guys available. And he uses Albert Almora instead.
Yeah, you better have some guys in your bullpen, some neutral guys, and get both left and right-handed hitters out in September, because you're going to lose that platoon advantage an awful lot.
Bounce to the shortstop, Kingery, and Happ's got to stay at first. That's out number 1. We want to thank the radio crew, Pat Hughes, Ron Coomer, and Zach Zaidman for joining us on a pregame segment today. There's David Bodie. Working hard. And paying no attention to the fact that they're on television right now.
Focused.
Yep.
Locked in. Razor-like focus. Or even laser-like focus. Always the key guy with this man on third situation. The 1-out plate appearance. Infield still in. Sac fly gets the job done. That all changes if there's 2 outs and that guy's still standing on third.
Nothing, 7th inning. Chance to add on here. 2 balls and a strike.
And Morgan is a guy who should be able to compete well against both lefties and righties. He's got a diverse mix for a guy coming out of the bullpen. He's a former starter, has a good off-speed pitch.
Two to Bodie. Emergency swing and he fouls it.
You see a tendency for most guys to expand the zone in this situation. The mindset often becomes, I've got to get that run home, whereas not necessarily a walk. You know, if you're going to stay out of the zone, go ahead and take the walk and pass the baton. The last thing you want to do is get rung up here on a borderline pitch.
And he swings and misses. That's out number 2. Morgan has come in and got now Mora and now Bodie. And Happ still at third with 2 outs. One thing I saw in the pace of play discussion recently, I don't know who wrote the article, is that the pushback in terms of a pitch clock is coming more from the hitters than the pitchers.
Yeah, I think they did a study, and it was the hitters that took more time to get ready than the pitchers. I want to say the Herrera kid here was the biggest culprit, Odubel.
That doesn't surprise me. I feel like hitters dawdle even more than pitchers most of the time.
Yeah, there's a handful of pitchers that are very deliberate. The Baez kid out in Los Angeles comes to mind.
But the stay in the box thing that has been encouraged hasn't really come to pass, has it? A lot of guys take a little walk after a strike. Cubs come up empty after the leadoff triple by Ian Happ. They do lead this game, however, 4-0 as we hit the stretch.
Baseball has been brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. Toyota, let's go places. Wintrust, home of Cubs checking and debit cards. Open an account today at wintrust.com/Cubs. Lexus, experience amazing. Wendy's, home of the 4 for $4. Now with more choices than ever at participating locations for a limited time. Your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Audi dealers. Visit AudiOffers.com for exceptional offers on select Audi models. Xfinity. Xfinity delivers the fastest internet with the best in-home Wi-Fi experience. Call, click, or visit an Xfinity store today. And by Budweiser. Join the team that enjoys responsibly. Budweiser reminds you to drink wiser.
Welcome back to Philly. We're going to go grab some fries, and when we come back, we'll have baseball. Let's step aside and see what's coming up on WGN. Cubs lead 4-0. Phillies will bat here in the 7th. And the Cubs now go into their bullpen. Left-hander Justin Wilson.
Scoreless inning on a Friday night for Justin. He has a 2.96 earned run average through 59 appearances. He bats .209 against the hard-throwing left-hander.
Alfaro 1 for 2. Mikel Franco is a pinch hitter on deck. Swinging strike. Well, Justin Wilson had issues throwing strikes after he was acquired from Detroit, but has been much better here in 2018. On a hop. That's Bodie. Now playing second.
11 consecutive scoreless outings for Justin Wilson. One of those, 2/3 of an inning, a third of an inning here, but he's been good. Only walked one here in the last 12 appearances.
So Chris Bryant's now over third. Happ is in right. Mora's in center.
Like musical chairs.
Franco cuts and misses. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Franco has tried this pinch hitting thing 7 times this year, and he's taken an offer.
Very odd last year with Detroit. Justin's walk rate was just over 10%, but with the Cubs it was almost 21%. This year back to 14.4, which is still high, but not that far off what
his career norms.
Yep. Yeah. Carl Edwards Jr. up in the Cubs bullpen.
I think one of the deals that relief pitchers have to deal with all the time is, you pitch in high leverage situations, and sometimes bad things happen to you. You give up a big home run, or you walk somebody in, and it ends up costing you a ball game, and you have to try to leave that behind you mentally. But that's easier said than done. So, and if you have 2 or 3 of those in a row, all of a sudden you just don't want to throw the ball over the plate. pitching away from contact. You're hoping hitters will expand the zone, get themselves out. And that's going to lead to a high walk count. And I don't know that Justin would say that's exactly what was going on with him last year, but that's kind of what it looked like. So maybe a little bit of a crisis of confidence. Things can snowball in a hurry on you.
Swing and a miss. He struck him out on a fastball.
Completely overmatched Franco here. What have the starters done so far in this series? Well, they've been really good, haven't they? 6 innings each. Quintana, Hendricks allowing 1. John gave up nada.
Cornermen will pull in against Quinn. He's a threat to bunt. Well, the Phillies' best chance to score was in the first inning. He led it off with a double, but he tried to make it a triple. He was thrown out by Kyle Schwarber. They would have 2 hits later in the inning, but did not get on the board.
Boy, that's so huge to have somebody pick you up, make a play like that behind you at the start of a ball game, especially on the road, trying to get settled in. Change the whole feel of the ball game, one play like that early.
Foul tip. He's out on strikes. That's a 1-2-3 7th for Wilson. 4-0 Cubs. Baez with a long blast, his 30th of the year, his 100th RBI. 420 feet. Cubs lead 4-0 here in the 8th inning. Batting average at .298. Luis Garcia is in.
First look at Garcia this weekend. 3.83 ERA for 48 appearances.
Thanks to Alex Cohen and Scott Kornberg for our affiliate reports from the leadoff man. Always good stuff. Struck the breaking ball. 2-1.
11 arms in the bullpen for the Phillies. Cubs have 10.
That'll land foul down the right field line. 36,517. The paid crowd today. Ballpark's a little lopsided currently. Looks like a bunch of fans have moved toward the shaded areas on this hot Sunday. Fair. Baez to second base. He's going to try to make it to third, and he is saved.
He literally changed his mind 3 times on that route around the bases. It is raining triples at Citizens Bank Ballpark. Number 9 for Javi, number 3 on the day for the Cubs. Rolled over a little bit on that hanging breaking ball, and it looks like he's content for 2. And I'm going to go 3. And I'm going to go 2. Why not?
And his average is at 300. I love it. 300, 30, 100.
Triple milestone.
What a year he's had. And we're just starting September. Infield in against Rizzo. Cubs led off the 7th with a triple. Ian Happ, but they couldn't get him home. Bautista broke hard for third as that pitch was being delivered, hoping to catch Baez unaware, but no throw by Alfaro. Garcia has the sign.
I think sometimes Javi, when he's running the bases, thinks like a pitcher, like he's changing speeds on the outfielder. Like, I'm going to slow down to slow you down, assuming I'm stopping, and then I'm going to go.
I think when we talk about Cubs base running, and they've struggled here the last couple of weeks overall, but I think people tend to forget plays like that and remember only the mistakes. That's a base hit. Here comes Baez. 5-0. Rizzo continues his perfect day.
Well, Javi's ability to get to third base set that up for Anthony, so he appreciates that. 88 driven in for Anthony now. Infield in. Beats this ball into the ground. Unable to get it through the right side of the infield with the boys drawn in. Well, a baseball purist would tell you Javi should not have tried to go to third base on that ball.
If he's out, he's right.
But in Joe Madden's world, he's fine even if he's out. Joe doesn't ascribe to the I don't want to make the first out at third base rule.
Fastball 99 and a strike to Bryant. Cubs looking for their 81st win. And a 3-1 start to this long trip. Almost hit Chris.
Yeah, this is kind of a trap in the schedule, this road trip. From a month or two ago, you're looking at this going, well, it's probably going to be a pretty close race the way the Brewers were playing. We didn't really thought the Cardinals were toast, but they've played their way back into it. This road trip, something be easy to identify as a potential roadblock for the Cubs, but they've performed very well. They're winning the makeup game in Atlanta. In pretty good shape here to win this series in Philadelphia. From the players and the staff point of view, just go play the games one at a time. But kind of looking at it big picture, my thinking anyway was just don't lay an egg on this road trip. Be competitive, win your fair share, play around 500 ball. You might do a lot better than that. Here are the probables for the series in Milwaukee. Zach Davies coming off the disabled list. Cole Hamels should be the pitcher of the month. Monty, Quintana, and Miley and Chassin. Miley was really good last time out.
Bryant draws the walk. Triple, single, walk to start the 8th.
If there were a managerial steel cage match, you'd go with Kapler, right? He'd be the odds-on favorite.
Yeah, he's put together for sure.
He was a magazine cover boy back in his playing days, all those fitness magazines. Had his own website, Cap Life, and he blogged about nutrition and fitness.
Cubs have hit a triple in each of the last 3 innings. Schwarber has 2 in as many days.
Yeah, I like this ballpark for that reason. I think with the angles out there in center field, left center field, it's going to create some opportunities for triples. The way the ball is going to take some funky bounces out there.
This is the Cubs' first 3 triple game in 16 years. 2002, the last time they did it.
And here triples, at least for me, my mind always goes to Coors Field or Bank One Ballpark in Phoenix.
Charged by Bautista. The throw is not in time. Schwarber hustles for an infield single.
Schwarb's playing the little man's game here today, legging out triples and infield hits. His speed power numbers got to be going up.
It looked like he was out. I think Gabe Kapler will challenge it. And he will. Yeah. Will likely be changed to a 5-3 putout.
Top of the 7th in St. Louis. Reds and Cardinals are knotted up at 2. DeSclafani for Cincinnati and Weaver for the Cardinals today. Short starts for both of them. DeSclafani 3 2/3. Weaver went 4. Now we're hearing that the Reds have taken the lead in that ball game. Fresh news coming in as we speak.
Schwarber is out. And it will bring up Contreras with runners at second and third, 1 out and a run in. And it will be against the drawn-in infield. Garcia's pitch is low.
Got a good heater, but he likes that slider an awful lot.
Cubs got to Aaron Nola today for 4 runs. He went 5 2/3. He struck out 11, including 7 of the first 9 batters he faced. And everything changed on a 2-out homer by Daniel Murphy in the 3rd. Stretch in the 2-1. Breaking ball inside.
Go ahead, Wilson.
Rizzo 3rd, Bryant 2nd. And he fouls away. It's full.
Pretty good hack at it, but couldn't catch up to 98 there.
It gets by. Rizzo thought about it, but he'll put on the brakes as Contreras walks. Bases loaded for Ian Happ.
Been a long day for Alfaro back there, catching in this heat. These Phillies pitchers working very slowly.
Now the Phillies middle infield will move back into double play depth, still in on the corners. And the first pitch to Happ, Swing and a miss. Garcia really showing his displeasure.
Well, he's taking so long between pitches, I think it's tough for the home plate umpire to maintain his concentration. Homer yesterday, triple today for Ian after striking out a couple of times.
Base hit to left. Rizzo will score. So will Chris Bryant. Contreras on his way to third, and the Cubs now lead 7-0 in the 8th.
And another one of those crooked numbers going up on the board. And a little different look there for me and Happ. You know, usually trying to pull the ball, hit the ball in the air. That time just carves it on the ground through the left side of the infield to plate 2. Drop the barrel on the sinker. That's enough to end Garcia's day.
3 runs in, a 7-0 lead. We'll be back in the 8th. From Miller Park in Milwaukee. Start of what should be a fun series.
Yeah, that's going to be good stuff. Cubs firmly in control of this ball game. There's a new pitcher in the game for the Phillies. It's a right-hander, a fellow by the name of Yaxel Rios. He's pitching for the 30th time. Been up and down on 6 occasions this year between Philadelphia and Lehigh Valley, their AAA club. 5.90 earned run average for Rios, who features a 96-mile-an-hour heater, an 86-mile-an-hour slider, and an 85-mile-an-hour split finger pitch.
Infield still in. Almora with a fly ball out into deep right. Altair makes the catch. Contreras will score. Throw to third. Happ is safe. 8-0. Sac fly Almora.
It's a man with a plan. He saw something up that he could get airborne, put a good swing on it, got himself an RBI.
Two outs in the inning. Bodie bats. It was 4-0 going into the 8th. They've added 4 to that. 8-zip.
A lot of the patrons have headed for their cars.
Ground ball to second base. Cabrera's got it. We go to the bottom of the 8th. All Cubs in the rubber game. 8-0. Veteran left-hander Jorge De La Rosa will make his 50th appearance combined. It is with the Diamondbacks and Cubs. Number 8 with the Cubs.
Follows Justin Wilson, who pitched 1 scoreless with a couple of strikeouts. So lefties the theme here today. Lester, Wilson, De La Rosa, all 3 southpaws working.
So we've got more changes defensively. Got to be on your toes here, almost like spring training with all the changes. Russell short, Baez second, Bodie third. I think Bryant's in left.
It's like, where's Waldo? Where's KB? There he is.
Ball 1 to Hoskins. And there's a strike on a fastball.
50-50, paid $10,248 here today.
Uh, 50-50 raffle?
Yeah.
How much was it?
$10,248 was half the pot.
That's a good haul. One, two is wide.
Now, you know, just a handful of games can really cloud your thinking. But I mean, just played Atlanta in that one game and then playing the Phillies here this weekend. Atlanta feels like a far superior team to the Phillies, despite the fact that they've been battling all year long.
Yeah, their lineup does, for sure. But as you say, it's always dangerous to draw any big conclusions based on just a handful of days or even a couple months.
Yeah, sometimes you catch a team when they're hot and you think, my goodness, this is the best team in the league. You see them 2 months later and not so much. And conversely, you see a struggling club and you think, well, they're going to be easy to beat. And they sometimes find a way. But here's how it stands. And the shocker, of course, is the Nationals playing just .500 baseball, 7.5 back. Clear favorite to win this division at the start of the season.
Nick Kingham and Julio Teheran, they haven't started yet in Atlanta.
I'd have to go back and look at the projections before the season, but I think, you know, everybody or all the statistical models had the Nationals winning, and the Mets may be the team most likely to challenge them.
Full count on Hoskins, Bautista, and Santana to follow. Here in the 8th. Swing and a miss, strike 3.
And looking him up all series and effectively.
Vince Lodel, our associate producer, has a trivia question that actually we were going to use in the Mets series, but it's still germane here in Philadelphia. You could probably guess why.
Might have to do with that guy.
That is foul. Let's see the question.
Bring it on, Vince.
Okay, what do we got? Oh, all right. I'm just reading it.
Oh,
okay, we got to get together here.
Right.
I got to find it now. With Giancarlo Stanton now joining the 300 home run club, there are 147 players who've hit 300 or more in Major League history. Only 6 have a career batting average below 250. Can you name the 6?
Below 250.
Yep.
Jose Bautista.
I'm guessing that's probably right. There's one.
Dave Kingman.
That's a good guess. I don't know the answer. I don't have the answers.
Oh.
So.
Ooh, he's on the cusp.
And I'm with you on Kong.
What was it? 250, right?
Yep, 250 is the cutoff. Below 250.
300 home runs. Rob Deere didn't hit 300, did he?
No, and I was thinking of him. He came up short.
How about Pete Incaviglia? He didn't hit 300.
I would guess no. How about Adam Dunn?
I like it. I like it a lot.
Right? Has Chris Davis hit 300 home runs?
Baltimore Chris Davis?
Yes.
Well, yeah, I'm pretty sure he has.
I would, if I had to guess, I'd throw his name out there. Popped up on the infield. I'm told he doesn't have 300.
We have confirmation on Kingman, Dunn, and Bautista. So we need 3 more guys. All or nothing type hitters. Or at least low average, a lot of home run guys. I'm sure when we see it, we're going to go, of course.
Yeah, I can think of a lot of guys who fit the profile. I just don't know if they actually got to 300 homers.
How about a hint? Can we get an era? Can we get a league? We need some help here. We're struggling. We're scrambling.
Like Gorman Thomas would be another, but I don't think he got to 300 homers.
Craig Nettles.
Okay, there's 4.
We got a hint from the truck on that one, folks. That one. We're hearing World Series Tiger.
Is it Eddie Matthews? Yeah, they hit 250.
Darrell Evans?
Oh, Darrell Evans. Okay. Yeah, I heard Braid and Tiger. That is caught by Russell. We'll give you the answer when we come back.
We have one hint for you. His last name
Greg Vaughn.
Gone. So think about that in the break.
It is 8-0 Cubs over the Phillies.
Rhymes with gone. How about Greg Vaughn?
Okay, we'll get our list of 300 homer big leaguers with a career average of below 250. Dunn, Kingman, Evans, Nettles, Vaughn, Bautista. That was fun.
He's very anxious to get back into the flow. He's using that different grip on his bat now. That helps absorb the shock. That finger that had been bothering him, he said it feels really good. Shoulders good. All systems go.
Rocket foul. Mark Reynolds is 7 home runs from joining that group. Career average under 240. He's got 293 home runs. Curtis Granderson has got the home runs, but he needs to make some outs. Career average is 252.
Well, we'll let him know because he's a Brewer now, and we can let him know that he would be well served, if you want to be part of our trivia question, to take a couple offers this week.
Hit well to deep right and caught. Matty should feel real good about that at bat.
That was a good sound.
One down now. Baez. Homer triple his last 2 at bats.
According to Baseball Reference, this is the anniversary of the first night game in baseball history, not professional. It was in 1880, and it was the teams from the department stores of Jordan Marsh and R.H. White. They built 3 towers 100 feet above the playing field and shined the lights down and played a night game. I've never even heard of Jordan Marsh and R.H. White.
No.
Department stores.
I guess you can get a real nice pair of trousers.
You can get some trousers and some pantaloons, perhaps.
They've got a great Labor Day weekend sale. Yeah. Buy a nice wool sweater for winter while you're there.
Pick up a big sack of coffee, some flour. Hope you can make it home before winter hits.
97 and a strike, 3-1. I know, right? Like now it's like, I need some laundry detergent. You go to your iPhone, hit 2 buttons, done. It's here tomorrow.
Yeah, a little different than back in the day.
Three, 2, strike 3 called. 2 outs, 9th inning. And it will be Victor Caratini for Rizzo. Just foul down that left field line.
Well, this is fitting, given what Javi did today. In 1955, Ernie Banks set the record for home runs by a shortstop when he hit his 40th. Went on to hit 44 that year, 48 in 1958.
Cerebral hitter, cerebral pitcher, talking their craft.
Yeah, that would be an interesting conversation, or not at the same time. Pull Hendricks aside. How would you pitch to Daniel Murphy? And then we'll talk to Daniel and say, what would your approach be against Kyle Hendricks?
How about a bonus trivia?
Yeah.
The 147 players with 30 or 300 home runs. Who has the highest career batting average? And I'll give you a hint. His name and likeness has appeared on a graphic today.
So this is a
300 home run
club
plus highest average.
Batting average.
Yep.
2 ways to go about this: try to remember all the graphics, or just try to.
That's probably the best thing
to do. Think about
do.
baseball history.
And how about another one? In the 500 home run club, which player has the lowest career batting average. The highest of the 300 club is 358. That's the batting average. The 500 homer club, the lowest batting average, 256.
Well, how about Ted Williams for the first one?
No.
What was his lifetime batting average?
He is second.
Clearly not 358.
Both guys are Hall of Famers. So by way of deduction, I can tell you that there are no 500 homer players who hit under 250 ever. The battle here between Rios and Caratini.
Batting average in the 500 home run club, 358. So you're going back a ways.
301 career homers, 358 batting average. Mentioned him earlier today.
That's where I'm having a hard time.
Rogers Hornsby.
Ah, okay, sure.
And Harmon Killebrew.
I was going to go with Killer on the other one.
256 with over 500 homers. Bottom of the ninth and a Cub debut. It's Terrence Gore now playing left. Yeah, left, not center. Caratini at first. And Brandon Kinsler will try to get the final 3 outs. Gore, a former Kansas City Royal.
Brandon working for the 60th time. He's pitched to a 4.47 earned run average. League bats 282 against him. He's all about sinking the ball, get it on the ground. When that happens, good things usually happen for him. It's been so-so since joining the Cubs. He's had 2 or 3 rough ones.
Terrence Gore, pretty fascinating. This is his 50th Major League appearance. He has 14 career plate appearances, 21 career stolen bases. And he can fly. 5'7", 165. Dylan Cousins fouls back. Brewers did win their game today in Washington. 9 for the final. So it looks like the Cubs will be 5 ahead of the Brewers. 6 in the loss column going into that game tomorrow. The Cardinals scored a run in the 8th, and they're tied with the Reds 3-3 in the 9th.
Did you catch the end of the Dodgers last night?
I did not.
Diamondbacks? Wow. Talk about a big swing of the bat. Matt Kemp with a 3-run home run. The Dodgers were down to 2-0 in the 8th.
That's a strikeout. One away here in the bottom of the 9th. Harrison Bader with an RBI infield single to tie that game in St. Louis. Kingery looks at a strike. If the Phillies don't score here, it would be the Cubs' major league leading 16th shutout.
White Sox are shutting out the Red Sox this afternoon, 7-0.
On Hawk Day, right?
On Hawk Day.
Hawk Harrelson.
James Shields with 6 scoreless. Anderson and Palka put a couple on the board for Hawk.
That's floated into right. And Kingery has a 1-out single. He's 2 for 4 today.
That's Jose Flores down there, their first base coach. He used to be with the Cubs.
Rocking some pretty cool shades.
Yeah. He's a roving infield instructor.
Altair pinch hit in the 6th and hit a deep fly caught on the warning track by Ian Happ. In this game of inches, he was a couple feet away from hitting a 2-run homer that would have made the game a 4-2 score, but it was an out instead, and the Cubs would add 4 in the 8th and lead 8-0.
Nine hits aside, but a bunch of singles for the Phillies and a lot of slugging for the Cubs. 3 homers, 3 triples, 3 singles.
Two down, 9th inning.
Nobody wanted a double. So 12 strikeouts now recorded by Cubs pitching this afternoon. There's that good late action on that sinker.
Jorge Alfaro with 2 outs and a man on. Kingery not being held by Caratini. gone to the bottom of the ninth, and St. Louis still tied at 3. Reds, Cards. Brewers won their game. Kinsler's 1-1. In tight. Pitchers of record: Lester for the Cubs, Nola for the Phillies. John would improve to 15-5. Nola would drop to 15-4. Max Scherzer leads the league with 16 wins. That's a strike, 2-2.
A 50-50 chance this is the last pitch of the ball game. Roll it over.
Still 50-50?
Still 50-50. It either is going to be or not. And there's the Honeymooners.
Runner goes on the 3-2, and it's fouled out of play. Cubs will win the season series 4-2. And it's not over yet. Kingery's going to come around and score. It's 8-1.
Oh, announcer jinx.
Thanks. It is a double for Alfaro. Now an 8-1 ball game. Nick Williams will come off the bench.
Cubs are in this stretch of 23 consecutive days without an off day. Win here today, they will be 10-3 through 13 of those.
This should do it. Baez has it. Cubs win. Cubs win. They take 2 out of 3 here in Philadelphia. Final score: Cubs 8, Phillies 1. And when they hit Milwaukee, they'll have at least a 4.5 game lead, maybe 5.
Yeah, good weekend here in Philadelphia. The pitching throughout the weekend, the starting pitching was outstanding. The bullpen's been pretty much spot on as well. Interesting game today with all the slugging. The Phillies actually out-hit the Cubs with those 2 knocks here in the ninth. Out-hit them 10-9, but singles for the Phillies. All but one of those knocks, and a lot of slugging by the Cubs. And there you see the updated NL Central standings. Comfortable lead for the Northsiders.
We'll have more from Philadelphia after the break.